Welcome to Milo's Mods, ladies and gentlemen. So, I figured I would post an Arsenal video. I haven't done one in a little bit over a year or so. So, I kind of figured I'd show you guys what's what. You know, like I said, I have quite a large collection of short dart blasters here.
Sad part, this isn't even all.
Yeah, this isn't even all of them.
This is just a modded.
Yes, this is just our top choices, you know, what we play with the most, what our people use. So let's start off with the pistol, shall we? So I've got a DZP MK 2.1 that does about 170 or so. I've got a modded knockout that fires mega darts. I've got a Scamp by Man Hands Designs. I have a Lapis from Jackrabbit Nerfer made at Frontline Foam. I have one of the OG MK2s. This is a Rival Fate with short dart kit in it. You know, it fires pretty well, inline clip. That is a Rival Pilot that's been modded for short darts. That is called a Rat Blaster. That's a pretty cool blaster. It really is. Summer Bird makes it. Here I've got a Cheetah 2.0. Down here I've got a 50 caliber paintball pistol that shoots 50 cal foam balls. Does like 400 FPS. It's CO2 powered. Here I've got a nice 3D printed gecko made at Silver Fox Industries. I have a S200 Fire Rat. I have a Nightingale. That is a S200S Viper. And all these blasters are fully tuned out. I have a Zinc. And these are clones of blasters right here. This is a clone of a Zinc. I have a clone of a Gecko as well. That's a Strike Master SP50. That blaster was actually supposed to be the Game Face Gion, but God only knows what happened to it in between, and I never got my hands on it, so I consider myself lucky. Here I have a tuned Max Outlaw. I have another tuned Rival Pilot. Now, keep this in mind. All the blasters I have doubles of many of these blasters as well. These are just certain ones, you know. Down here, I have a modified Aeon Pro stock attachment point, skinny pusher, brass barrel, upgraded Chungus spring, prime assist from Drac. Many different kits in that blaster. Here I have my Caliburn. That's Mr. OP. He does about 300 FPS. He's got a Pro 26 spring, all metal internals on him. Trigger, sear, ramrod and base, and the plunger rod is the plunger head's made out of Delrin. Here I have a Fire Phoenix, a clone of the Valkyrie. The weird thing about it is that Fire Phoenix is actually a better version than the original Valkyrie. I had the original Valkyrie, and I was sorely disappointed with it. I mean, the Fire Phoenix is a way better blaster. It's got metal parts. The original Valkyrie does not. So I would say that that's a better blaster, but to each his own. You know, here I have a modded Nexus Pro with a brass barrel installed. SOCOM kit from France Foam Works. Beautiful blaster. That blaster's got a metal kit in it as well from Worker. Here I have a Game Face Tryon that's been modified. Looks kind of like an AR. It does 230 FPS or so on certain darts. It's a nice little blaster. It's cosmetically tuned more than anything else on this blaster here. This is a Dart Zone Pro MK 1.1. This is a rather nice blaster. It's got 12 inches of brass in it. Worker vertical foregrip. It's got a red dot sight on it. It has a turf spring as well. Like the Nexus, my Striker, and the 1.1 and 1.2, they all take the same springs, the same as my Cetas and stuff. Those took springs that were designed for those blasters by Turf Blaster Springs, but they're no longer in business either. So it is what it is. You can still get some of the springs from that like Frontline, but very limited stock on them. Here, this is my U-Series Talon Claw. This is my personal Talon Claw. This one's for private events. It's a beautiful blaster, all blacked out. Beautiful blaster. That is a Lima by Freedom Blasters. A guy named Marius makes it. He's got a lot of controversy with him, but I love his blasters. They are beautiful, and they do function really nice. This is a Whelen SOCOM. This blaster is made by Joshua France. I think he's going out of business. I don't know. But this is one of like a dozen or so blasters in the community. The blaster does like 200. It's a pretty nice blaster. Here, this is a modified Dart Zone Pro 1.2. This blaster has a suppressor from Out of Darts on it. It's got the tactical rail from the Nexus Pro. I just cut it down to length so that way there was no barrel wobble or anything like that, because I don't like my blasters to wiggle. This is just a worker stock and stuff like that. It's pretty easy peasy. This is an Omnia Pro made by Dart Zone, released this year. That's supposed to be the Gen 2. They fixed some of it. At least this one didn't blow up like the first one I had. Still rather disappointed in this blaster, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Here, this is Cynthia. This is a bolt-action blaster made by Silly Butts. It's a rather nice blaster. I do kind of like it. I mean, it's a 3D printed blaster. You know, it's really nice and all that. You know, and just to kind of clear it up, I don't hate 3D printing at all. Actually, I think it's rather nice. It's just that it doesn't last as long for me, and I don't print my own parts, so it would cost me a fortune, you know. But it is what it is, to each their own. Down here, this is a Phoenix 2.0 with a suppressor on it from Xbox Games. Joe makes some really nice stuff. Here, this is my Colonel Wasp Firefly. This blaster here has gone through several iterations. I've blown this blaster up many a times, had to piece it back together many a times. As you can tell, the different color barrels, the black receiver. Trust me, that blaster eats parts, in my opinion. But yeah, here we have a Unicorn. Really, it's a decent blaster. To me, it was overhyped and underdelivered. But a lot of people will argue the point with me, and it's fine. It's whatever. Over here, that's an F-TAC 1. That is a beautiful blaster. I mean, it is really, really great. It shoots really nice. It does like 230. This is a Strife X right here. Gorgeous blaster. That blaster surprised me. It did 160 to 170 right out of the box. It's really nice. I just wish that they would make extra batteries for that. Then that blaster would truly be nice. Here we have a modified X-Shot Pro. It has the plunger tube from Saber. It has the metal pusher as well from Saber. See? And it also has the metal catch in it, too, from AK Blaster Mods. I'm waiting on some more parts from AK Blaster Mods right now. Now, this is where it kind of gets a little odd, ladies and gentlemen. These are two grenade launchers. One's from China. I modified these to shoot green gas shells. Right now, they'll shoot a Mega XL dart at like 150 FPS or so. It's rather nice. It's rather cool. It's very simple modifications to do. All you have to do is kind of install a firing pin in the plunger head, and you're good. Now, over here, we have my Max Striker. This one's kind of looks like an M4 here. It looks rather nice. You know, stock on it. carry handle and front sight from Joshua France. Bits and bobbles from Foam Pro Shop Drac. This is my 1.0 Phoenix right here. It's a rather nice blaster. It shoots really nice, about 150 to 160 FPS. Triple stage flywheel, which again is not bad. I actually do kind of like it. This is my son's personal Talon Claw right here. It's a great blaster. It really is. It shoots really nice, hits really hard, and that silk green accents just sets it off great. Here, this is a blaster that's nicknamed the Unwanted. Joshua France built this out of leftover parts from people that didn't buy all of the kits or whatever. So he kind of pieced this together. This is a modified Strife. Does HVZ speeds. It's rather nice. It shoots good. No complaints there. Here, this is a Game Face Prime that's been heavily modified. It has an upgraded sled in it. It's got a spring and spring spacer in it. It's got a mistress key. It's got tactical railing in it. And the fun thing about this Game Face is if you get one of the old school Game Face Primes and you experience wobble, go out of darts and buy the Nexus Pro rails and just cut them down to length to fit. And they'll fit perfectly, 1-to-1 pieces, ladies and gentlemen. And that's got a grip in it from Foam Pro Shop Drac as well. Both of his grips. Beautiful grips. They're really nice. This is my Ruffian. This is from Manhance Design. It's the first blaster he did. It's all made out. It's got a big brass barrel and a humongous plunger tube. This blaster does like 300 FPS. It's sketchy, but it's a great blaster. It really is. It's only failed me once, and that was because the threaded rod stripped out in it. But other than that, it's a great blaster. It really is beautiful. This is a modded Conquest Pro. Or excuse me, Max Dictator. I apologize. They're basically the same blaster anyway. This is a Max Dictator. This one has a worker barrel in it. It's got a upgraded K20 or Pro 25 spring, and it shoots like 200 FPS. It's really nice. Carry handle on it from France Foamworks. This is my Worker Swift. I have doubles of this blaster as well. My other one's white and it's upstairs. This one's tuned for 300 FPS, 1.8 spring, upgraded pump grip, all metal guts. I mean, trigger, catch, everything. Shoots really, really hard. 300, but it's good. This is a modified Jurassic Pro. It has a lot of cosmetic mods done to it. Spring spacer installed. It does about 170 or so. It's really nice little blaster. I like it. This is a Max Tomcat here. Again, upgraded barrel, K25 spring in it. Shoots like 200 as well. This is a Jet Blaster Cedar. This Jet Blaster here does about 220 FPS in its current configuration. It's a rather nice blaster. It does have a brass barrel. This is an MK4 from Dart Zone. This blaster here is basically the Worker Swift 2.0. Just kind of see the resemblances here. I do. So this thing wanted to act like a Swift, so I treat it like one. It's got a 550 barrel in it. I've flipped the spring seat around, and it's rocking a 1.8 Worker Swift spring. This blaster here pops over 300 FPS with ease. This is my son's personal Caliburn here. And a nice OD green pattern, nice military-looking blaster. Looks great. I love it. This one came from Frontline Foam. This blaster does like 260 or so on K25. It's a nice little blaster. Here, we have my Bullpup Talon Claw. This blaster here is a beautiful blaster. It came from Rick Vega, person of the community. I commissioned him to build it. Paid him a decent sum of money to build it. It's a nice blaster. It works really well. This blaster does like 260 to 270. Here, we have a Worker Seagull. This is a rather awesome blaster. It's got all saber metal parts in it. The only thing that I don't have it. That is Saber is the magazine release because nobody has them yet. But I'll get one from Conrad eventually. It is what it is. The blaster pops really nice. It does 250 to 280 depending on the dart. I've had shots over 300 out of that blaster.
Easy.
Yeah, if you have the right type of ammo. Here, this is an S100S Blase version 2.5. This one has an upgraded spring in it. That's a 28N long prophecy spring with a spacer in it. Blaster does 300 FPS.
Gotta love China.
You really do. This blaster came from a company called ZWQ. They sent this to me as promo. I also have a 550 worker Harrier barrel installed. The newer version of this blaster has a threaded dart gate, so you can put worker barrel in it. Don't ask me why they did it, but it's great. Here, this is my worker Harrier. This blaster here shoots 300 FPS. It's got a 450 barrel in it. It's got a Saber scar on it. All metal internals from Saber blasters. Nice aftermarket stock. Sling attachments. Beautiful blaster. It's really nice, crisp, smooth action on it. I love it. This is my son's Kern. This blaster also has a Saber bearing scar on it as well. This blaster does...
heads with this thing. It's fun.
Yeah, this blaster does 300 FPS. Okay, it's got the upgraded barrel in it. It also has a K26 spring in it as well. Beautiful blaster. Hits really hard. It's really nice. Plus the shell ejecting action is great.
Yes, sir.
Here we have a Milsig M79 foam dart blaster from Taiwan.
You don't see these running around often.
No, there's not many of them out there. This is an HPA blaster. It does 400 FPS. It runs on like a compressed air that you would get at like a scuba shop or a paintball shop. See? I have extra tanks for that blaster as well. This is a Saber Apex.
The newest.
The brand new blaster. Just your blasters, won't even be out till January. This is the Saber pre-orders that I was lucky enough to get in on. This is the International Silver Edition. There's not many of these in the United States.
I believe it's only 100 that were purchased.
Yeah, there was only 100 of these Silver Editions that were made, and a bunch of them were claimed by Singaporean players. I was lucky enough to get one. Conrad especially saved one of the silver ones for me. Such a nice man. That blaster, in its form, it comes in a kit. You have to put it together. It takes like 3 hours to do if you're going by the PDF. Bradley Phillips just put out a video on it to certainly help. It certainly helps you along. It's really great. You should go check out Bradley as well. But that blaster will do over 400, no problem. The highest recorded speeds I've got out of it is I've gotten 396 out of it. And that's on an 18 kilogram spring. But on an 18 kilogram spring, it's a manly prime. It's a stiff one, but it can be done. He is working on a 30 kilogram spring for this blaster now. That'll do like 450, he's thinking. The plunger tube in it is as long as my forearm, if that tells you anything. It's got a manly tube in it.
My forearm is about as big as his.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's sad.
Now, this is a prophecy. This prophecy came from David, also known as That Old Nerf Guy on YouTube. I won this prophecy in his giveaway for subscribers. It's a really nice prophecy. It shoots like 175 or so. Myler shoots this blaster all the time. He really enjoys it. And last but not least, we have here, this is a version 3 Talon Claw made by Rick Vega. I traded him a Worker Seagull for this blaster. He got the pistachio green Seagull, and he sent me this one. This blaster is called the Demo. It's a beautiful blaster. It really is. Rick Vega really has some nice print quality and nice work about him. And that's the thing. A lot of the smaller designers for 3D printing, they actually will sit down and take their time and make nice blasters. If you go to a shop, yeah, you're buying 3D printing, but it just takes, it's not up to standards, a lot of it, it's because they're trying to rush the product out, That's all it is. It's just haste makes waste, you know. And 3D printing is great, but don't go out and buy 3D printing. Go out and buy a printer and do it yourself. You'll be much happier. But yeah, that's pretty much my half-dart arsenal. I mean, it's pretty awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. And until next time, this is Myler's Mods signing off.